Okay, recording started. Now we had reached here, fire control plans. Now, if you look at what notes I have given you in lesson number 29 to 34 or something, in that you have got fire control plans of two ships. So those ones you will have to download on your computer and then zoom it and have a look. Now, there are different plans like all the safety plans, fire control plans, every one of them is displayed on the ship in one of the alleyways and in more places, not only in one place, but more than one places. So everybody has got access to it the way we have got in our passages. Similarly, they are available in passages on the ship also. Now it is a requirement by Solus that it has to be displayed. Now, what it should be containing, that is what we will be looking here. Okay, let's make it little bigger. Okay, what it should be showing. Fire control stations. Now see, it is going to look something like this. Okay, this is just one of the decks, one part of the plan. It is telling you what compartment it is. It is telling you like this is the laundry. This is the dirty laundry, means of section and laundry. Some cabinet room, some men's changing room. So, what all is where, including escape route is marked. What it shows is fire control stations, fire sections close by A and B class divisions. Now, fire sections are fire zones. So, what is enclosed with A class or a B class division? So, it will be marked accordingly, like this. The whole thing will be covered up saying that this is class A. Then particulars of fire detectors, alarm, including locations. So it will be shown here. Okay, you have now this is manual call bell, extinguisher, and like that. Then we have got fire detector control panels, sprinkler control planners, particulars. Now it will be in the fire control station basically. Then fire extinguishing equipment, means of access to different compartments, ventilating system, including fan control. This is normally in the fire control station. Or there will be some more locations from where you can cut off all the fans, like specifically to engine room. Position of dampers and identification numbers of ventilating fans. Like basically on a cargo ships, we see more on an engine room, this part, machinery space, where you got dampers and all. But if you go on a Ro-Ro ships and all, then you will have a lot more of them because Ro-Ro ship has got the biggest ventilation systems. Now what happens is we are going to put all these plans around and there are markings. Now what happens is there are different types of markings. Now, how do we know a pattern? Because I will say, oh, in India we do like this. German says, we do it like this in Germany, and so on. So again, something comes in. There are symbols used by IMO. Those are specified ones, and even in your the STCW courses manuals, you have got one page dedicated to these symbols. You see them few times, you will know it. There's the international symbols. Those are the ones which are used to mark the plans, so that you never mind which ship you go on, you will always know what that plan is telling you. Now, fire plans, safety plans, and so on. Now, they also allow you to have whole information in a booklet. Then everybody has to be provided with booklet, because what is the whole idea? Idea is that this plan should be accessible to everyone. That is the idea. So if you say, I don't want to display it here, because I don't have place or whatever you say. In that case, you will have to give one copy to everyone on board. Next is the plans and booklets must be kept up to date. Up to date means in case any correction comes, every one of them must be corrected. Every one. Now, where this correction will generally come? Most of the times, nothing is going to change on the plan except ship's name and maybe along with it the port of registry. Because what happens is ships are bought and sold. Management company is very common thing. Ownership company is lesser incidents, but they happen. Now, especially on container ships sometimes do change their name for 6 months time, 3 months. The reason is the container trade is such that everybody likes to show we carry cargo on our ship. Everything is ours. They don't want to tell I have hired it. So they change the name. It's a relatively simple process. You get new certificates with new names and all. Perfectly fine. But then the biggest pain starts for third officer and the cadet. They need to change all this on all these plans. Okay, you cannot have plan showing the old name. So that is the generally the probability you are going to general probability that you will be changing names. And after 6 months you change back to old name, again you change back. So that is one of the things which one has to be careful, and all of them without missing them. That means you must have a list where what plans are displayed, so that when you have to make any change, you track down each and every one of them and finish and tick mark. Yes, done this, done this, done this, so that nothing is missing. Now, plans. Normally they will be in English, normally, but possible they may be in other languages. Official language of the flag state. Now, see, realize one thing: a flag state official language can be another language which is not the same language which is working language on board. Because the flag states, if you are going to register in a very specific country, they will have their own language. So that is a flag state language. But on-board working language can be something else. Most of the times you are going to get on-board working language as English. Now, this is interesting one, that if one language is used more than one language, different fonts, that means you know there are two different languages there on one plan. Otherwise, each plan should have one language. But if it is there, then different fonts, so that you don't get mixed up between, say, Spanish and English. Otherwise, both of them use more or less similar alphabets. So that is one of the reasons. Now, fire plans are displayed on navigation bridge, not necessarily always, because you don't have place, but it is available. Mess rooms, areas leading to mess room, most of the time areas leading to mess rooms. Because it's a big thing. It is something like almost you need 2 meters by 1 meter space minimum or more. Say 2 meters by 1.5 meters, depending on size, but generally this is the area you will expect, and it may not be available always. Then also there is something, wherever it is displayed, that area also has emergency source of power, so that you can see it even when there is a darkness due to blackout or something. Now we come to this fire control plan, which you have seen. It is at the entrance of our institute. You will also have it in your hostels. In weathertight enclosure outside the superstructure, the purpose in this is also called fire wallet. We have got a couple of things along with fire control plan. There are more documents in it. There will be crew list, there will be a cargo manifest, etc., cargo plan and all. and it is clearly marked, and it is also not fixed. Means this container is not fixed, it is a removable, so you can take it out and take it wherever you need in a safe place and open it, because it's not necessarily you can open it in a rain and start, and it is always weather tight. So inside this also there will be plastic bag, and inside that things will be there. Now this is also a copy of one of the plans, trying to show you like the escape routes, how the doors are opening, what all is there, ventilation, galley, what all it has got, fire blanket will be there. This is all showing the same plan. Fire flaps, a different type of plan, but it is made for very small ship. It is for yacht. See here, the legends are in English and Russian. Now, that is what we saw now, variety of plans, like fire control plan, safety plans and all, which you have to go through the plan, just play around with it for some time. Means maybe spend half an hour and try to, give some meaning to the symbols. Means look at the symbol, then on the same plan, there will be in one corner, there will be a code for that symbol, and it will be told, like if it's fire pump, it will be told that how many fire pumps are on board. So just open one of the plans, go through, spend about half an hour playing with it, and you will have a good idea about what it is. Now, what happens is we have got emergency situations. Now, suddenly any emergency situation will come up. But what we do on a ship, we also have got contingency plans. Now, they are under various procedures. Now, we have got for critical procedures separately. We have got safety ones for procedures are there for routine jobs and all. So similarly, we also have got contingency plans. The headings can be little bit different. It may say that emergency procedures for, and then we have got different emergencies listed, and every one of them is thought about. And we have got a contingency plan, because fire in a forward store is different in fire in steering gear compartment, and that is different than fire in the cargo hold, or a collision, or fire in laundry, engine machinery space. So we have got different situations. Now what happens is we use our think tank. Now generalized things will be there, but we also need to think, because these are ship specific. We think about it, we list down the steps one by one, what should be done and in what sequence. So to do that, first thing is we have to know our ship. That means we must know where all these things are stored. Then where are the entry routes for various compartments? Because if there is fire, you have to approach the compartment to extinguish fire also. So you have to know how are the entrances, from where it's accessible, and so on. So that is knowing the ship. Now, what will you do? Whether you go there, approach with a fire hose, or you are going to use a fixed flooding system like CO2 or something else, fixed firefighting system, that is. Now, this is the important part, this part. This is what we are doing is this contingency planning is a teamwork. Team A will do this, team B will do this. We are not relying on one person completing specific act. The person has to be interchangeable. That is important. Person has to be interchangeable, and it has to be a team. Now, when we make these plans, normally what happens is when we take over the ship, a brand new ship, or we owner buys ship from somebody, we join the ship. So generally the first task is this. Now, if it is a second-hand ship, you have advantage of the previous guys have worked out all this because every ship has to have it. So, what you will need is once in a while translation problem may be there, but what we do is we take it, go through every step, and see that yes, what they have written is right. If it is a brand new ship taking from a shipyard, then we simulate it. We simulate in our mind, yes, there is a fire in pent locker. What do we do? We list step by step what is to be done. We go through it and then we finalize it. Then you have got a process of getting approval, etc., etc. But this is a process which is done in the beginning, and then that manual gets prepared, the list of contingency plans for this. Now, this is exactly what we are doing, knowing the ship. Like, what would we do if a main fuel pump catches fire? So, automatically action should follow. Yes, in that case, I will do this, I will stop supply, I will do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. This team will attack from this side, this team will attack from here, and like that. Somewhere in the beginning will be fire alarm and all. Now, what are the alternative routes? That is, somebody is going to say, but suppose this alleyway has caught the fire, how will you go? So there must be other routes. Ships have got more than one route every place. So we'll use other routes. That is how. Where is the nearest extinguisher? That is where the plan comes in. Nearest extinguisher are marked on the plan, and it is mentioned what type it is. Now, how it is used, it is your onboard training along with the shore-based training. now, now this is where a lot of thinking process will go on. Relocation, and if anything you have to do, relocation of firefighting equipment or something, you need approval. You just can't shift the extinguisher. You will have to apply for this change, and then you will get the approval, and it is changed. The ship's plans will be changed. Then we practice it. Like, we have today's drill will be fire in galley. Fine. First time when we simulated the scene, how long did it take? Okay, it needed 15 minutes. So this time it should be less than that. That is how we practice, so that we get the speed. So this is why we need contingency plans. So there is no panic at that stage. We know what to do. Everybody knows what to do. Now, the SOLAS or IMO guidelines say that all potential fire hazards must be identified. That is the same thing. You are sitting there and saying, what happens if there is fire here? What happens if there is a fire there? You have to become negative person. You have to assume everything can catch fire. That I have mentioned it earlier only. If you have got ability to think negatively like this, which is in modern world we say negatively, but on ships we don't call it negative. We call it a conscious approach. That I am assuming lots of things can go wrong, and after that I should emerge as a winner when things go wrong. There is no sense in saying it cannot happen, because that way, if you look at it, we are undergoing a situation right now in our country or all over the world. Nobody ever thought unknown enemy like a virus can stop whole world. Correct? That is what happened. Now anybody who was prepared is little better off. People who were not prepared are worse. Like, first, it was taken very lightly in some countries, and they got a massive death toll and infections for their size. So this is what happens. Our case is little different. We are immune to a lot of stuff, so it's okay. Now, IMO offers guideline, uniform framework is there for many individual plans, but anyway, what happens is you can have all these things ready made and then you do the changes. because rewriting whole thing, it is little more complex. See here. Now you get the standard stuff, okay? A template like thing. And then the use requires that plans are carefully tailored for an individual vessel. This is what I mentioned. These are all ship specific. So when you get it, you use the template and then you start checking, is it okay? No, this doesn't apply to us. So what is it? So you make the changes accordingly. So instead of doing 100% work, you can manage to the whole document by doing only 20% work. Possible. Now, okay, these points, let us go through these points, okay? Like introduction. Then requirement, that's provision. Plan must comply procedures when reporting an emergency for identifying potential emergency situations, programs, activities for the maintenance of emergency and contingency plan. Now, maintenance of plans means this is where you need a thinking process, reviewing. This is basically we are talking about reviewing all the plans, activities, and make the changes as required. Planning, emergency training, education, that is STCW courses plus onboard training. Regular drills, exercises, which we do. Coordination among ship staff and the company actions. That coordination, generally I got a designated person ashore. He will be coordinating with the rest of the office. So there is a communication between the captain and one person ashore. Captain takes care of the ship and that person ashore will manage with office, whatever has to be done from there. Response actions. Now coordinations are required for response actions. You can't have all the simultaneous actions. The response actions are on board. What we have been talking about is only about fighting fire and rescuing person. Now the next part comes of the action is protecting environment and all. You remember those things? What are our purposes and all we have done? So same thing continues, like when saving the ship, saving the environment, everything. For that, you have to coordinate with shore-based authorities, variety of them. So sometimes you will need advice from experts dealing with, say, cargo fire, for example, and so on. So this is all organized ashore, and these response actions must be practiced once in a while. Most of the companies try to do at least one drill per year where the shore-based organizations get in action. Then reporting procedures, you have to tell owners and interested parties, coastal state authorities. That means a ship catches fire, say about 20 kilometers from Indian coast. They have to inform coastal state means Indian authorities also that I have got a fire there and port authorities and etc. They can't say it is my ship, my fire, you don't worry. No, this is all has to be reported. So here we talk about, this is what designated person I told you. So this is the coordination we have to have. Now they do a lot of stuff from there, like, for example, in USA, to deal with pollution. You have got, used to have a company or Peterson Rydell or something. So Valem had a contract with them. So anything on US coast, if there is any problem, considering there can be a pollution issue, we just contacted them on emergency number and they coordinated from there. That means instead of Hong Kong trying to do everything, it was done locally in USA. And they were coordinating with Hong Kong office and ship and etc. including, you know, a lot of stuff is required when you deal with emergency, including emergency ambulance services and all. Now we come to usual stuff. The first action when a fire is detected, raising the alarm. Okay. But no matter what happens, you have to raise the alarm, even though it is a small fire. Everything starts with a small one. So, first thing is raise the alarm, and if it is small, then you try using extinguisher, whatever it is. But alarm is a must, must, must. So, here we start. This is all you have to know, and no doubts here. What are your responsibilities? Where is the equipment? How to use it? This is all part of training. And you should be keeping yourself safe, not sacrificing your life, as very often it happens. Okay. This is something which we should be always beware on ships. It happens to others, not me. I am immune and nothing happens to me. That is all nonsense. Fire can start on any ship. Simple. Fire can start at home. Means it has happened in my house. I'll tell you very this thing, because what happens is we keep on telling to our family members, don't do this, don't do that, nothing. There was a some sort of a candle type of light was put in front of the some gods, and it melted. The wick was on, there was fire, and suddenly that melted wax caught fire, and some gods got burned. So anyway, luckily I was at home, so we could manage. But then this is exactly what happens. Why you are not allowed to keep any naked flames, naked agarbatti, anything burning agarbattis in your room, and doing all these pujas and leaving these things on. No, that is the reason, because you don't know. You may not be there, and whole fire can catch place. So don't believe that it cannot happen to me. I am taking precautions. No, the things can go wrong. You cannot have naked fire close. That means you cannot have. No arguments over it. Okay. What happens is, if you actually notice fire somewhere on the ship, one of the reactions is shock and disbelief. And without training, like you have seen fire when you did that firefighting training, so you got some idea of fire. But somebody, we can't believe there is a fire and they can go in shock. Earlier days, these things have happened and we have taken lessons. That is the reason what we are telling you today is, understand these things will happen. We have experienced these things. It has happened on some ships. Guy goes in shock. He sees the fire, he goes in shock. There's nothing, no words are coming out of his mouth, nothing. He just stands there, nothing else. So those things can happen. Then this is another reaction. Guy runs away, leaving the door open. That means you are allowing oxygen to help fire. So this is another mistake. If you have to run away from fire, you have to close the door first. This is another one where we say sacrificial goats. This is a hero trying to do everything, and most of the time ending up as a dead body. This is what you must not do anytime. Too many people have tried to do this to save people without taking proper precautions. Now, we have already seen here awareness of your own and other safety during firefighting. This is the part we are dealing here. A stupidity like this, you end up dying yourself and at times killing others. This is what happens. If the guy is alone, he dies. Nobody notices till it becomes bigger. And then more people are at risk. Seeing, because you can see flame. Smelling. I told you that when you work at sea, your nose becomes like a dog, You can feel that smoke, even minute percentages. You can smell. Your nose can differentiate between the cigarette smoke and hearing. If there is small explosion like sounds and all, then you know something maybe like if you try to burn wood that makes some sort of sound. So same thing. First thing, raise the alarm and stay calm. By panic, you do not go anywhere. Only thing that will happen with panic is more panic. This you all have done. Shout fire, fire, fire loudly in case you bang the doors, anything. But the moment you shout fire, 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 and then anybody is around, fine. But you go to nearest fire alarm call point. If you do that and start the fire alarm, everybody will get up. Because the fire alarm itself is extremely loud. So everybody will. Now, this internal telephone and all, it's okay to say. But if you use a fire alarm call point, it will give alarm. Then you use any phone or anything to inform exactly where is the fire to the bridge. If you can give more exact details, it becomes easier in the initial stages to organize firefighting teams. Now, this is what location of fire, type of fire, size, etc., etc. Whatever information you can give, you cannot give all of them. You will give whatever you know, but you will have to give some sort of a thing. Oh, there is a large fire. How large? Some idea, because your large and my large may not be the same definition. So try to give information. If you can identify, whatever you can identify, give that information. In case you find casualty, anything, inform first, because our first choice is saving this person, casualty. That is our first choice. You go back to our objectives and you will find this. First is life. Then we start going into. And this is something until others have been informed. Others have been informed means you are given the fire alarm, and then only if you say that fire is small, you can use extinguisher. Sure, go ahead. But only after others have been informed means after you are given fire alarm. If there are two, one should give fire alarm, other one should start basically firefighting with extinguisher. It's fine. But if you realize that after one extinguisher is not going to go, wait for the teams to arrive and fight it. Don't think that you are the only one, because after alarm, within next few minutes, everybody should be available. If you find the smoke is coming from the the sides of the doors and all, like it happens with the cabins, because there is a ventilation system at the bottom of the door. So if you find smoke coming from there, don't open the door. Raise the alarm. Don't try to tackle the fire, because when you open the door, there can be the fire spreading out. The fire is big there inside. It will spread out quickly. It may burn you out if you open the door, and it may provide oxygen to the fire, because if something is on fire inside a room, cabin, it is also burning up oxygen what is available, and at some stage oxygen supply will end, and then fire will have to extinguish itself because there is no oxygen available. So there are many things involved. So first rule is do not open the door if you just detect fire is on other side. Raise alarm. Don't try to tackle the fire. Prepare equipment if you have to, means like boundary cooling and all that type of thing, or and wait for fire attack party to arrive. Because we have got people who will be going to fight the fire or rescuing person. You alone cannot be the hero. If door is open, close the door. Keep low because this is what you have already studied, that you keep low because the smoke will be up, hot air will be up, and low you might be able to see things. Okay, now this is very important. Don't allow fire or smoke to get between you and your way of escape. Your escape route should be clear. If that is endangering there, get out. First thing is try to close the door, give alarm. But main thing is you wait for attack party. This is what we are talking is if you notice it yourself, it means you are the first person. Rest of the things will be done by fire attack party. Like all this part. You cannot do everything. You can't fight fire on your own. The idea is give alarm and take emergency first aid type of action. Close the door, close the ventilation if you can do it while staying safe, not endangering yourself. There is no place for heroes on the ship. If you want to be a hero, join Bollywood or Tollywood or whatever wood you want. Stay close by but at safe distance. And when the team arrives, you inform them what you saw, everything, and then let them take over. Now, we give enough training. On ships also, you must know where are extinguishers. And there is a pattern, so you really can't go wrong. There is a pattern which shows you on every ship where fire extinguishers will be. And once you know that, then you will not be making a mistake. And typically, as a deck officer, you will have to know all these things absolutely thoroughly. Where is what? So this you have done, right? Either this or this. Means what is it? Find, inform, restrict, the same. Extinguish or escape, depending on the situation. Let us see. We start this, then we will have to go quite a lot. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll stop here, and this is what we will continue tomorrow. Now, I'm going to put you back on, unmute you. Next is, I'm putting a chat also. So, any doubts you have got? Now, okay.
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, one guy has got, where is the fire control station on board?
Bye,
Fire
sir.
control station on board. Nobody is going to leave classroom right now. The fire control station on board usually is the bridge on a normal cargo ship. Normal cargo ship, it will be bridge. Passenger ship, it can be an entirely different thing, identified separately. And under a very rare case, fire control station can be somewhere else other than bridge. The reason is when you are at sea, bridge is always manned, because fire control station has to be manned 24/7. Okay, so this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, any other questions? We have been repeating everything again and again. Huh?
Yes, sir.
But unfortunately, when you are trying to take test, you are not doing it in a serious manner, because
Yes,
the scores are not impressive. And thoda mirchi lagane ke liye, I must tell you, one of the girls from first year got 25 out of 25 in ROR. ये मिर्ची तुम लोग के लिए।
सर सब चीटिंग, सर सब चीटिंग।
हाँ तो ओपन है, But I am telling you,
ये सब
you also
थर्ड ईयर
cheat,
से
no?
पूछ के सर
तो
नहीं,
फर्स्ट
but
ईयर में अच्छी लड़कियां हैं.
Correct. I am telling
first
you,
year
you also cheat. You also cheat, but show me you can get the marks, no? Because you are not approaching. डर के कुछ नहीं होएगा. And then that is going to tell you, are you ready or not ready? That's it. और क्या है?
सर, अच्छी जनरेशन आ रही है सर.
क्या?
अच्छी जनरेशन आ रही है सर.
Smarter ones.
Yes.
You were supposed to be
हम
the smartest batch. Correct?
सर हम सबसे स्मार्टेस्ट थे. नाउ न्यूअर आर कमिंग.
18 साल में you are supposed to be the smartest. Now the challenge is coming. No, you all have to be little bit more serious and take the test, because you know the quizzes are easier test. It doesn't pressurize you. You make mistakes, don't worry. I'm not keeping track of it. I know because I get a mail. You have taken the test, and this is it. Fine. I'm not bothered about the marks so much. Right now, I want you to take tests. Once you start doing tests, you will develop your own confidence. Because I must say, the first year is getting 25 out of 25 is impressive. And generally, she has been getting something like 21, 22, 24. And again, she is not exactly identified as the number one in the class.
Oh.
So think, it is up to you. Everything is within you. I should tell you like that monk and no monks tell you all this, or gurus, monks normally.
Yes.
So now, is there any doubt in this?
No sir.
Sure.
Yes sir.
Sir, LSA FFA के पांचों exams like test like by when do we have to submit them?
Which one?
LSA FFA test which you have put on
You
the
keep
website.
on doing from today onward. Do it few times till you feel comfortable. Okay.
So, but like, what is the score which we have to achieve? If we are like getting a good score out of them, so like, can we just do them once and leave it?
No, not once, because they're all random questions. So you should do at least 3-4 times and get 100% marks. Why you feel you can't get 100% or what?
I've already got 20.20 in
Then
LSA.
you got one, right? Correct. But do it few more times because the questions will be different.
Okay.
The idea is the time pass के लिए अच्छा है ना, बैठे बैठे कुछ time pass करने का है. Like you play Ludo and all, same way you play this. And recorded one you can show and get extra allowance also, no, from parents that you are studying seriously. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So I'll stop recording now.